Supermodel Cindy Crawford has owned more luxury properties than you'd likely think over the years. So many that it would take too long to cover in a video like this one, but we're gonna look at a handful of them. This includes her vacation home in Mexico, her lake house in Ontario, Canada, her Malibu Mega mansion, and much more. In these videos, we don't reveal any addresses, and even though I've done a house tour of my own place, please do not show up at any private residences because it's not safe for anyone. Cindy Crawford is an American supermodel and businesswoman who has had such a remarkable and long-lasting career that her current net worth is estimated to be as high as $200 million. In fact, when you combine Cindy's net worth with that of her husband's, tequila entrepreneur Randy Gerber, business partner to none other than George Clooney, then these two, well, they have an even more epic bank account jam-packed with over $400 million. Cindy and her hubby have been married since 1998 and have 2 daughters together. They've called a number of places home over the years and have invested a ton of their fortune into a large real estate portfolio. During Cindy's busiest years, owning these many homes was a necessity, as she would explain to Architectural Digest in 2019. As a model, you're traveling all the time, so your home life is like your little cocoon and sanctuary. Hey guys, it's Kara the Vampire Slayer back with another exclusive house tour here on Famous Entertainment. In this one, checking out a few of the places Cindy Crawford has called home. But before we start, please take a second to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. You can also hit me up on Instagram if you want to chat. Now, let's get into this video. We're gonna kick things off with one of Cindy Crawford's former vacation homes first. She and her hubby have been longtime friends with George Clooney, and they took that friendship to the next level when the 3 of them constructed neighboring properties as a vacation compound on Mexico's Baja Peninsula. Now, the original intention was for this to be one massive vacation home for the 3 friends to share, but ultimately they wound up building 2 adjoining houses that were separated by a single gate. After all, a married couple with kids have a lifestyle that's not exactly compatible with that of the world's most eligible bachelor. At the time of moving into this place, George definitely still was. Cindy's side of the compound featured neutral tones and built-in furniture, not to mention a large sunny courtyard drenched in Spanish limestone. According to Architectural Digest, the overall vibe that they were going for was houses that were very elegant and almost like an art piece, but where you would still be comfortable walking around barefoot and in a swimsuits. Yeah, I'd say mission accomplished. After spending a decade worth of summers here, these 3 best friends decided to sell off their retreat, by then known as Casamigos, and they each pocketed a cool $50 million in the process. Rather than let their unique living arrangement end there, Cindy and her hubby alongside Mr. Clooney reportedly picked up luxury condos in Manhattan's Midtown East neighborhood with only 1 floor separating their new pads. Now, that is friendship. Mexico isn't the only place that Cindy and her family like to spend their downtime. They're also willing to head north for the summer, more specifically to a 7-acre plot of land located on a granite island in central Ontario. When the family first bought this place, it was a little more than a rundown cabin with linoleum floors, so they razed it to the ground to make room for a much more modern and very rustic looking home. Based on images that Cindy has shared with Vogue, as well as the ton of photos she's posted to social media over the years, her new cabin boasts a dock that sits directly over the lake and also includes dark wooden paneling on the inside, which is nicely contrasted with large windows. When discussing this home with Vogue, Cindy would tell them, "The point here is to slow everything down. Life moves quickly, but it will wait." That's a pretty good life philosophy and all, but I'm not sure how slow Cindy and her family are really living out here, especially when most of the time they're out on the water enjoying their powerboat. The family continues to visit this lake house each and every summer. One place they no longer visit, however, is perhaps the biggest home that they've ever owned. And for that, well, we've got to return to Malibu. Cindy and Randy sure have owned a ton of Malibu holdings over the years, but none of them could measure up to this 7,450 square foot mansion with 4 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, and a stunning spiral staircase. So that's why we're going to be looking at this one. In fact, this contemporary Mediterranean style property was even featured in Cindy's 73 Questions interview for Vogue magazine, in which she took their camera crew on a tour to give her fans a glimpse inside. That tour would reveal a home with an open-plan family room, not to mention a kitchen decorated in calming shades of cream and navy blue. Meanwhile, outside there's a truly massive patio that overlooks the nearby Pacific Ocean. Just below that is a classic swimming pool. In 2017, they listed the home for $60 million. 1 year later, they sold it for $45 million. More recently, however, the home has once again hit the market with a large asking price of $99.5 million. That might even be too rich for Cindy's blood. A whole bunch of Cindy's properties might be located on or near the water, but not this next one. After spending so much time on the coasts, Cindy and her family decided to snap themselves up a piece of desert paradise with a getaway in the Coachella Valley worth $5.4 million. Located in La Quinta, California, this property boasts 4 bedrooms as well as 4.5 bathrooms spread out over 6,000 square feet. This single-story residence features stone floors, high ceilings, a wine cellar in the dining room, and floor-to-ceiling glass panels to encourage indoor-outdoor living. There's also a stunning zero-edge pull-out back and a stone fireplace that no doubt helps set the mood if Cindy and Randy ever venture out here. But as Cindy would tell Architectural Digest, "We've never spent that much time out there, so we don't know if we'd be there enough, but I love the desert." Sure, Cindy, just not as much as you love the water, apparently. Speaking of, let's investigate 2 last homes. Cindy's newest property is located right on Miami Beach. Towards the end of 2020, Cindy and Randy picked themselves up not 1 but 2 waterfront properties in an exclusive area of Miami Beach for just under $10 million and $3 million respectively. First, the mid-century modern mansion features 3,803 square feet and sits on nearly half an acre lot with more than 100 feet of direct water frontage, not to mention some gorgeously unobstructed views of the bay. The interior of the home is probably best described as charming and boasts a slanted wood slat ceiling, exposed brick walls, ceramic tile floors, and a mixture of textures and angles that direct the visitor's gaze up and out towards the water. There's also an entire wall of glass sliders that open out onto a spacious back patio with an accompanying yard and pool overlooking the bay. As for the condo they bought about a month later, it boasts 2 bedrooms, 3 baths,